Now we're going to look at my favorite, the Passata Sotto. So one little note, if the Passata Sotto is tough for you, you can always just swap this out for the Intagliere, so you can just keep working that some more. If getting low is really difficult. So I started with that one first, just because it's a nice little, it gives you something to keep on working on if you can't do the Passata Sotto. Passata Sotto just means pass underneath. So the higher the attack, the easier it is to pass underneath it. So you probably don't want to do a Passata Sotto against someone who kind of just throws shots at your gut, because you're going to get underneath all like that low, right? And maybe next week I'll bust out the stick and we'll play Passata Sotto limbo like we've done before. But I'll do that next week when we go, because I feel like Tristan will have a grand old time with that particular one. Yeah, right, yeah. So this works a little bit easier against people that attack very high. So if they go for your head, this is a nice void. Or if you just have a limber enough to get underneath, this is a really good one. It really has that now you see me, now you don't kind of feel to it. So this is a great action, especially for short fencers. But if you're a tall fencer, no one's going to expect you to disappear from their horizon. So if you can pull that off, that's even cooler. I feel in some ways, because no one really is going to expect it from the tall fencer. All right, so we got a few different versions that we see throughout history. So I'm just going to demonstrate all of them, and you can kind of follow along with me. And then when we do the drill, you can see which one will work best for you. We have my favorite one is what I call it the Fabris Passata Sotto. Fabris is in the stance, but we can do it from the more upright stance as well. You're basically going to take your chest and kind of fold it towards your inside at a diagonal. So I'm not going perfectly sideways. I'm not going forward. I'm kind of going at a diagonal here. Still extending the arm. And once I get as low as I have to, or I comfortably can, passing with that back foot. Right, so I'm keeping my back foot is now in the front, but it's still roughly 90 degrees here. I'm nice and comfy here. And then from here, I would want to keep on walking, walk on through, right? So this isn't necessarily an action. That one isn't one that you want to pose in. Maybe you wanted the cool photo, but like it's basically hit and then you keep on walking on by. So we sometimes joke about the Fabris drive-by. That's kind of one of them. Because you're hitting and you go. You don't have opposition, so your opponent's sword is free. So you do need to make sure that you are getting in and out of this particular void as quickly as possible. Right, so again, we just kind of folding at a diagonal and stepping on through. So that's our first one. That's really good, especially if you need to cover a lot of distance. So maybe you're fighting someone who's taller than you, and you really need to still come forward while doing this. Or if you just want to get past their point really deep, it's a good one. So that's my favorite one. So same setup as the previous drill. Student finds, coach is attacking by disengage. Cool, right? So if I don't do anything, I get steel to the chest. I find, boom. Right, so this is the Fabris version. So I turn my hand into first, so knuckles on up. I hit. If I do this version, as I walk on by, I like to high five the hilt. That way he can't follow me and try to get a late cut to the back of the head or the arm, which sometimes happen. If I miss him, he's still alive. He might try to get that late hit. High five at the hilt, make sure that I stop him from doing a renewed attack. So nice and smooth here. Boom, boom, hit, high five, and then walk on out. So that's our Fabris version. That's my favorite version because it's just really nice. Another one is from El Fieri. This is just a sideways lean. So I'm just going to be on guard here. I'm just going to kind of lean to the side as much as I can. So I'm using my butt as counterbalance. So as I fold to my inside, the butt is going to the outside. And again, I'm getting as low as I have to or need to strike my opponent here. That's your second option.
Would you keep walking with that one?
Probably not. From here, I'm going to hit, and then I'm probably going to like re-engage the blade and exit out, right? So from here, I might kind of like hit and go to the side or wherever I think I need to as an exit, yeah. Because this one isn't really, you're currently just being stationary. It's kind of a hit and then get on out. Good question. Then we have the El Fieri version. Attack comes, I'm just kind of leaning. There we go. Right. That does assume that like your opponent is close enough that you can actually hit him with that, right? So that's really good if maybe your opponent's shorter than you and is a little bit closer in range, that you know you don't have to move your foot forward. Then we have our classical fencing style. So from here, this is more like a reverse lunge. I'm going to extend the sword, kick my back leg out, and then I'm going to have my offhand nearby for counterbalance. Don't slam your hand in the ground. You can hurt your wrist that way. But the hand is there if you need a little extra balance, if you kind of lose your balance here, right? Because it's a quick hit. I can have this offhand if I need to create a little bit of if I need to create a tripod, or if I need to just brace myself and stuff. Again, that one, like, you want to hit and then get in and out pretty quickly. We have our classical fencing version. Ooh, right in the hand, look at that. Right, offhand is low somewhere where I need to. My hand is still in first. I'm not worried about making blade contact, but it just happens to be in a spot where, like, if he does try to drop his blade, in that case, I had it there. But that's not always going to happen, right? Actually, before we get to that one, there's also the spasso, which is kind of like the intaglia, but super low, right? So we're still doing that crossline lunge, but you're getting, oops, slip there, trying to get your chest almost on top of your thigh as much as you can, right? So it's a really low void, stepping and getting that chest nice and low. Then we have our spasso, which is the low line intaglia, right? Again, I'm kind of lunging as low as I can to my inside. The old man version is the attack's coming, you're still kind of kicking the hand on out, and you kind of use your offhand to brace on the front. This comes from like, I like this one. Yeah. So Maestro Dobbs has this like presentation of 112 slides of different Passata Sottos from the centuries, and this is one of them in there. So it doesn't have a special name. I just call it the old man version because it's what it reminds me of. So you have that one. And then we've got the old man version. See this mostly in modern sport fencing, but it does pop up in some classical or Italian small sword. And once the attack's coming, you literally just pop a squat and hit them, right? It's probably the simplest version. You literally just go ass to grass, right? I'll see if I can get this one. Right.
Is that the technique, is the hop at your opponent?
Yeah, the hop is very important there. Yeah. We can call it the Slavic squat, the Slavic Passata Sotto. We'll call it that one. So.
Like you're just sitting down.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Arm on thigh, really.
Yeah. But the key is you just get it underneath the attack. As long as your body is underneath your opponent's hilt when you do this, congrats, it's Passata Sotto. How you get there is kind of like up to your athleticism and creativity in some ways. We'll do that. So, from the student's finding on the inside line, coach is attacking by disengage to the high outside line. Student, you're just disappearing from her horizon. You can pick one of those to work on. You can kind of rotate through all of them and see which one works best for you. We're going to rotate partners, so you're going to get plenty of reps with this one because there's a lot of different ones to play around with. All right, let's rotate around Kate and let's see how this goes.